You're listening to KPFT Houston, 90.1 on your dial. If you're down in Galveston, pick us up at 89.5, and our friends up in the Piney Woods, 91.9. It is time for Songwriter Studio. I'm your host, Tom Tranchilla, along with Lloyd Daniel, our engineer, doing what he does best here at Songwriter Studio, doing the editing and turning the knobs like a real pro. Thank you, Lloyd, for all you've done and for all you've done to keep the show on the air. We have got a busy show this evening. We have got three ladies in the studio and online. We have Gracie Chavez from the city of Houston. How you doing, Gracie?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us on Songwriter Studio. We have Tracy DeJarnett.
Hello.
Hi, Tracy. You're
Hi
no
there.
stranger to Songwriter Studio, are you?
Great to be back.
And the recent winner of Houston Live, Heather Rayleen. How you doing, Heather?
I'm good. How are you?
Your latest album is excellent, Falling for You. We're going to be playing selected tracks off to that.
Thank you
after
so
we
much.
get through the dialogue we've got lined up for today's show. Let's start right off the bat. Gracie, tell us a little bit about your job with the city of Houston.
Well, into Mayor Turner's last couple of years or a few months of his term, he wanted to do something to elevate the music scene here in Houston. And one way of doing that is making sure that the city of Houston gets certified by the Texas Music Office as a music-friendly city. And believe it or not, other cities across the state have been certified, and it just sounds like Houston is probably one of the last few that hasn't got its certification, but we're working on it. And, it's looking like before the end of the year, we'll be added on to that list. And, part of that is just making sure, I am going out into community, and I'm also a working musician. So this isn't too far off the beaten path, I think, for me.
Well, I know you worked with Tracy with not only the Houston Live, but also with Make Music Day Houston. And we were talking just before the show, how many venues did you have scheduled to play music just recently? You said over 100.
Well, it was over 140 venues and performers registered this year. And that's at least 3 times more than we had last summer, which was our first year participating in the global celebration of music called Make Music Day. And
Tracy, I know you were involved with Republic Boot.
Right.
And, of course, brought Heather in. Great set, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. I didn't even realize till you told me this is a worldwide event.
It sure is. Yeah, Gracie knows a lot about that, but it started in France. I don't know what the year was. Houston got involved last year, and, it was a great start. This year, I don't know, Gracie, how fast has it grown? I mean, compared to last year, it's more than doubled, at least. And so it's exciting to see the growth.
Yeah, this year, Make Music Day celebrated its 40th. So it started in 1982. And so we just joined over 1,000 cities worldwide in the celebration. And that's a day where music is open all in the streets, in parks and wherever people feel like playing or listening to music.
Boot companies?
Boot companies, too.
Boot companies, too.
Yeah, we actually had 3 venues across the Heights, so that was a lot of fun. We had Harold's, we had the restaurant, and then we had EQ Coffee got involved. They're big supporters of music, and then Republic Boot Company. So those were 3 of the 140. So we had good presence in the Heights as well.
If the venues around town want to host next year, how do they do that? What's the procedure?
That's really simple. We have makemusicday.org/Houston set up for the Houston chapter. And as soon as registration opens for 2023, we start to invite partners and venues, music spaces, or just, any spaces to host performers. And we also open up registration to musicians across town. And you don't have to be a pro. In fact, if you're an up-and-comer or if you just want to get together and jam with friends.
And network.
And network, yes, absolutely. And so, there's no discrimination on who can play music and listen.
And the genres, right? We had almost every genre represented. We had jazz and singer-songwriter, folk, country, you name it.
We had experimental.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought it was wonderful. Wonderful deal. And I don't know about all the other venues, but at Republic Boot, they had food, drinks, open bar, all for free. So kind of like going to Costco, right? You just wander around and hit a little bit of food at each venue.
I tell you, we had great partners in the Heights. All of them were tremendous.
Gracie, keep us in touch here at KPFT. Let us know in advance next year, and we'll let the venues around town and the listeners know when it's going to happen, and if they want to sign up to be a sponsored venue, or if the artists want to sign up to play. We'll get it out on the airs, and hopefully it didn't sound like you had any problem at all with participation this year.
No, listen, if there's any reason to demonstrate the power of music to unite, uplift people, spread joy, and just build community, Make Music Day is just the perfect scenario.
Before we let you go, Tracy, I want you to talk a little bit, especially to the listening audience, about we discussed before the show about this huge music community we have. Then everybody talks about, we have Austin, we don't need Houston. Nonsense. Go ahead. Why don't you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some perception, right, that Houston is not a music town. And I understand that. We've got energy. We've got a lot of big industry here that we're known for. And Austin has done a phenomenal job in supporting music. But Houston, if you think about it, well, first of all, let me talk about Texas in general. So Houston Live, we support Texas artists, okay? So we started in Houston, but we support all Texas artists that want to participate. Texas is one of 6 states that has the highest economic contribution from music. So Texas as a state is big in the music industry. Houston, if you think about some of the stars that have come from Houston, we create some of the world's largest stars that they call Houston home. Lizzo, Madeline the Person, Megan Thee Stallion, Lyle Lovett, Rodney Crowell, Billy Gibbons, Clint Black, Corey Morrow, Hayes Carl. I mean, it's a long list. Beyonce, absolutely. Yes. That's usually the first one I list, but I figured I'd mix it up. So it's no surprise that we support music here. And the fact that the city has hired a director of music tourism, I think is very significant. We are thrilled to have Gracie here and be a part of this and helping build out this community.
Gracie, thank you so much for joining us on Songwriter Studio, and good luck in the future. You've got our support for sure.
Oh, I appreciate it so much.
KPFT will... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, we still got some work to do,
Yeah, it's just getting off the ground. Let's hope it grows and grows, and we get
That's right.
Maybe get a blues and or jazz festival back in the city of Houston. I know we've talked about that on the show numerous times. So thank you again for joining us on Songwriter Studio. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom.
Tracy, we're going to move on to our third guest in the studio, Heather Rayleen, and tell us a little. You're the founder and producer of Houston Live. Tell us how that got started, how the competition started, and then we're going to play some cuts off of Heather's latest album, which is excellent, by the way. Why don't you let the listening audience know a little bit about this project?
Yeah, so I'm a marketer by day, and but I love music. And in 2017, I decided to start a music festival. And for me, it was a great way to bring people together. As Gracie mentioned, it's such a wonderful healing experience. People love coming together around music. Started that in 2017, and I realized all the amazing talent that we have here in Houston across all genres. And I said, I really want to discover more artists here. And I started the competition. Our first one was at JP Hop's house. We packed the house. We had a great response. And so it's been building from there. This is our 3rd annual. So we just held it at McIntyre's just recently, I guess in May. And Heather entered and won our competition. We're so excited that she jumped in and shared her music. I mean, one of the biggest things I think is that I try to share everyone's music. If you enter the competition, if you enter Songfest, I'm going to get your name, your links. I'm going to get it all out there for you. So it's another way for you to share your music. And then the community that we're building. very supportive, a great way. I'm seeing co-writes come about because of this community. I think I may have witnessed one maybe with Heather at the show, because I did connect them with mentors that I brought in from across Texas that have #1 hits across radio. They've got a lot of experience, like Bernie Nelson, Helene Cronin, Ben McPeak, who's a country artist on his own, and Heather Little, who wrote for Miranda Lambert, went platinum. So these folks came in, mentored our finalists. And so, yeah, there's lots of ways that songwriters can win, I think, in this.
That was quite a show at the end, too. I thought
Absolutely.
It was so well organized. You did a bang-up job of the start to finish, from the judging to the entries and everything right down the line. It was a wonderful day.
Thank you. And Heather won. So congratulations.
Heather was the winner.
Thank you.
Yes.
Heather, let's talk a little bit about your past. You started out in a school symphony. Tell us how you got started in the music business and how you ended up with this great album. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been singing since I like to tell people I came out of my mother's womb singing. So, some people cry, but I was already singing, and so I've been singing since I was really, really young, sang in church, sang in rodeos and things like that. And then I actually started playing violin when I was 11. And so that's what I did. I played in the school orchestra, but I was also in choir. But, choir is a different kind of thing. That's not like a solo. And so I did it because I was like, well, I like to sing, so that's what you do. But it wasn't until, I was going to school for music. I was on a violin scholarship out at Sam Houston State University. And I got a call from a Texas country artist, and they wanted me to play violin in their wedding. And long story short, next thing you know, I'm playing fiddle in a Texas country band. Then I start playing with other people. And I even played with Cody Johnson for a bit, which is a pretty well-known name around here. So I was playing fiddle before I started writing my own songs and formed my own band. And so I don't even know what year that was. Let's not give my age away, but it was a while ago that I started playing live. And I played around town for a really long time before I ever got the courage up and the money up to record an album. And so now have an album out and a single as well. And we're going to try and drop another single later this year.
We've got 8 tracks on the latest album you released. And by the way, Falling For You is the name of the record. But when I reviewed this album, I thought, who is playing fiddle on this? It was you.
It was me.
You played the fiddle. You did the acoustic guitar work.
I did.
You did all the vocals. And if I'm not mistaken, you wrote all the songs. Is that correct?
I did.
This is a heck of a project, I'll tell you.
Thank you so much.
We want to come back and chat some more, but I want to start out the album, Falling For You. The name of this opening track is Should Have Known. Do you want to let the listening audience give them a little heads up on this track?
This is one of the oldest songs I've written, actually. And I love listening to music when I'm driving. And I have to be honest, I write songs a lot of times when I'm a little bit sad, and it may not be that I'm sad for me. I could be sad for someone else or something that I saw in a movie or anything. But I do have a lot of sad songs, and this is one of them. But I'm also playing fiddle on this track, like you mentioned. So
one of the things I noticed reviewing this first track, it's very emotional. And the tempo changes between the bridge and the verses is stunning. Let's listen to that track right now. Heather Rayleen, Falling For You is the name of the album. Opening track, Should Have Known.
Keep on driving to get you off my mind. All those sweet lies running through my head. Should've never listened to a word you say. Can't believe I stuck around so long when all you did was treat me wrong. I should've known you would tear my world apart. Should've never trusted you with my heart. I should've
Should Have Known. Heather Rayleen off the Falling For You LP. Excellent song. Your vocal control is incredible. Great arrangement. Just a first-class song. I might like to mention this album is sort of a crossover. It can go country, contemporary country, or pop. You know, you're all over the map with this thing, and I think it's very marketable.
Well, thank
You had mentioned you just recorded a brand new song that's not, is it released yet? You recorded it up in Nashville. Tell us a little bit about that.
That one is available online. It's called Man Up. And I cut that one out in Nashville. And that one's even more poppy, I would say. A little bit of rock, but a lot of pop too on that one. And so, yeah, I mean, I was raised on country roots and rock and roll soul is what I tell people. So I definitely had both sides of that. It's all in there. If you listen, you'll hear all kinds of influences for sure.
That you do, and I noted that on my notes after reviewing the record. This is rock and roll. It's country. It's ballads. It's soft. It's love songs. It's heavy songs. You're all over. You did a great job of mixing it up. Let's talk a little bit about Not Letting Go. By the way, this thing's got an excellent guitar groove. Tell us about that.
Okay. That beginning guitar part is my guitar part that I wrote and that I played. But also, I'll go ahead and mention this is one of the 2 songs that won me my spot at the Songfest. So you picked 2 songs, and this is one of the 2 that won me that $1,000. So,
that's right.
So that's kind of awesome. But I wrote this about just kind of, love can be sad sometimes. And love can be happy, and love can be a lot of things. And I think that love is also very much a decision that you make, especially if you want it to last forever, right? And so you just have to decide, you know what? We've been through hell, but here I am, and I'm just not going anywhere. And I'm just going to decide, and we're going to figure it out. And so that's what I wrote this song about.
So it's basically about commitment.
It is.
Let's listen to track number 2 off of Falling For You. This is Heather Rayleen. Not Letting Go.
You said just hold on, but I was already gone. Could have gone so far, but it got so dark. Maybe you were wrong, but stronger than I was back then, and I need you to know I'll never say those words again. Even if this winter gets any colder, you'll never hear me say it's over. And baby, I'm not afraid of the climb this time. I'm not letting go. Not letting go. Oh, oh.
Not Letting Go, Heather Rayleen. What a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Again, a Heather original, right?
That's right.
Yeah, you did a real good job, especially on the bridges. You're very good at setting the mood. I much appreciate. And let's talk a little bit about the lead work by Frank DeBretti. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah.
Talk about working with Frank.
Yeah, I actually don't even remember how I found Frank, but I didn't have a full standing band at the time. And so I did use Stormy Cooper on bass. I used Lyndon Hughes on drums. My co-producer, Travis Bishop, played keys. And then, yeah, we brought in Frank DeBretti, who is originally from Nashville, but he lives in Houston now. So his guitar tones and, the layering and everything just was exactly the style that I was looking for. So.
Now, did you mention that you used Travis's studio? Just about everything was recorded there?
Stormy Cooper Media. Everything
Yes.
was recorded there, yes.
Okay, yeah, just superb quality. I mean, we were talking
agree.
about it earlier, Tracy.
Right.
They talk about Austin. They talk about Nashville. Some of the best recording studios are right here.
It's
Right in
incredible.
Houston.
Absolutely. I mean, Lucky Run, and then what's the other famous one that should be coming to my mind?
Sugar
Hill. Yeah, of course. I mean, we've got these amazing gems and this amazing talent, and some, fly under the radar intentionally and don't promote themselves. Some people think they're in LA. They do a lot of traveling, but they're right here in Houston. So you can actually get all of it done here, and that's the flag I'm waving. If you want to stay in Houston and you want to pursue a career in music, you can do that here.
And I'd like to name drop one other engineer that you don't hear much about, Ernie Wells. Oh, sure. Ernie Wells had his own studio for decades and recently closed it during the pandemic and moved into, he does a lot of his recording now at Lucky Run. He's one of the contract engineers, for lack of a better term. He actually recorded the intro to this show that I recorded there with him years ago. He's a superb engineer. He's won several Grammys. He's available too. Just Google Ernie Wells. He also works out of Lucky Run.
I'll tell you what, if you want to find the resources, go to the Texas Music Office. On their website, you can go and search for anybody in any genre of music, sound engineers, artists, etc. They have a database there, and they've done a great job of collecting all that information. You just go to their website. And that's actually how I started down this path. I started working with them.
Repeat that again. Go to what site?
The Texas Music Office. It's a .org. So just search for that, Texas Music Office. I don't know the website.
I wasn't familiar with that site.
Yeah, so
Thanks
go
for
to
that information.
absolutely go to Texas Music Office. It's probably .org, and you can find anything you want.
If you're just tuning in to Songwriter Studio, we have Heather Rayleen. We're featuring songs off her most recent album, Falling for You, as well as Tracy DeJarnett, giving us some great information, producer of Houston
Live.
Houston Live and Songfest.
That's right, and Songfest, which is produced by Houston Live.
Let's get back to the latest album by Heather, Come Over. What a great acoustic opening you've got on this track. Tell the listening audience a little bit about this song.
Oh, thank you so much. Come Over, it's funny, I wrote this when I was single, and so people always think, that I wrote it for someone special, but the pretty much one love song I have on the album I wrote when I was 100% single. I was living in a tiny apartment by myself in Conroe, Texas. I don't even know really what brought it on, but I tell people a lot that my guitar writes my songs for me, and that opening, the acoustic or whatever, that's what it started with. And that's me playing that on the album. And that's exactly what it sounds like when you come and see me live. And this is the second song that I did at the Songfest that won me that, title. So it is a love song. And I just wrote it about, having a no good, terrible, bad day. and you come home and there's only one person that you want to see, one person that can make it better for you. And I just think that's the sweetest thing ever, because we all need those kind of people. So when my mom comes out, this is her favorite, and I always put a shout out to my mom. So Mom, if you're listening, here we go. It's for you again.
You know, I've always heard, and I know from experience reviewing as many albums as I have to for this show, you have to catch the people in the first 10 or 15 seconds. Your acoustic opening does that. So
thank you
for
so
sure,
much.
my compliments. Let's listen to that track right now. Come Over, Heather Rayleen off of Falling for You.
It's been one of those days again. No matter what I do, I just can't win. Couldn't find the key this morning. And I caught every red light and was late for work again. Can't wait to be back in your arms. The end of the day just seems so far, but when I get home, you're standing there. You see that look on my face? Ooh, that's when you say, well, come over here, baby, and let me hold you tight. Come over here, baby, it's gonna be just fine. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning,
Come Over, Heather Rayleen. Another great song off of Falling for You. While that song was playing, we were discussing length of songs. We all know ideally between 3 and 4 minutes, your commercial radio stations almost demand. Otherwise, the song's too long, it's not going to get played. The song's too short, it's not going to get played. KPFT has an exception. Of course, we play everything. Just listen to some of the weekend shows where they're playing long jams, you know. But let's talk a little bit about that. When you were recording the record, did you have to cut some time off of this one?
I did, yeah. So we had to do a little radio edit on the time for this one. And what's funny is even in the studio, I actually had another 2 lines on the second verse that I ended up cutting to make the song shorter. And it was still kind of long. And then we wanted to kind of jam out in the studio. So we have that outro, but for a radio edit to be able to send it in, we cut this one. And we also cut my song Limbo. It has a long outro. And we had to do a radio edit on that one as well.
Well, somebody was on the ball. They knew just about how far they could push it.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Well, all these songs are fairly long for album cuts. You know, they range from the 3.5 minutes up to almost 5.5 minutes. So you're in a fairly average to high song length, which the musicians are going to like this. Maybe not so much the commercial radio stations, but that's the business. Let's talk about track number 4, Show It to Me. This is a slow song that builds. You have excellent tempo increases in this song. Again, penned by you. Tell the listening audience a little bit about the writing structure.
So I always tell people I wrote this song when I was ticked off at a boy, of course. And it's the only song that I've ever written in one day. One sitting even. Just, it came out of me pretty quick and easy just because I was on fire. You know, I was mad at someone. And, people say a lot of things, but if they don't follow it with actions, then maybe don't believe them. Right? It's called Show It to Me because boys, your words are not enough. So I really enjoy singing this one. It's kind of a bluesy rockish. It's heavily influenced by, I'd say, like Michelle Branch, Are You Happy Now? Alanis Morissette, You Ought to Know. Those were the kind of vibes I was going for with this song. So when I sing it, it's like I get everything out on the table and I can't get mad at anyone for the rest of the week. It's my therapy session.
Well, let's listen to that track right now. Show It to Me. This is Heather Rayleen.
Am I supposed to stay just because you say that you love me? Is it too much to ask for more? And is it worth fighting for or meant to be? Well, you keep telling me that you wanna be more than love is more than friends. Well, it seems to me that it's make-believe. Are you just play and pretend? And how do I know? And where do we go? Show it to me. I wanna see what you got to give that'll sweeten me off my feet. Yeah, give it to me, all that I need. So don't say another word, don't say another word. Show it to me. Well, you'll never ask me why. When you see me cry, you just walk away. Oh, and you never compromise. You do just enough to get by. Now tell me, baby. If you're wasting my time and just feeding me lines, then you best be on your way. But if you're
Show It To Me. Heather Rayleen off of Falling For You. Another great song. That could be a hit country song. You know that.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
got the right lyrics. Fits country radio. We were talking during the playing of that song, the cover photo of your album, Falling For You, is just stellar. And you had mentioned Nick Rincon shot this photo, who is also a musician.
Yeah.
What a great photograph for a cover of an album. Why don't you tell the listening audience a little bit about Nick's work?
Yeah, so I met him at like a Baker Street, I believe it was, and his band was performing. I don't know if they still have the same name, but at the time they were called Vertigo. And my friends actually were like, oh, she sings, you should let her sing. And he was nice enough to let me hop on stage and sing. And then we stayed in contact and have been friends ever since. And he's done several photo shoots for me. And, that photo, it really did turn out so great. And he's done several photo shoots, and they always turn out really good. So, anytime someone compliments me, I'm like, yeah, well, I had a great photographer, and he just happens to be a musician too. So he knows what you're looking for when you're looking for, cover art and that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Well, definitely cover art sometimes can sell a record. Nowadays, everything's downloads and streaming. But, there's still people out there that prefer, and in my case, our radio show, we require hard copies because we use the liner notes. And there's some of the people that are old school or that are maybe working for an independent radio station that require the hard copies.
Wow.
So, yeah, and artwork is very important. It can sell an album.
I agree.
If you're just tuning in, we are interviewing Heather Rayleen. We also have Tracy DeJarnett in the studio. Thank you, girls, so much for spending some time with us today. So we had a lot to talk about, a lot of great songs to review. Let's move on, get the next track off the record, Way Too Long. This is country meets rock and roll for sure, isn't it?
I would agree with that for sure, yes.
Why don't you give the listening audience a little heads up on this track?
So, Way Too Long is probably not the best title for a song, right? Especially what we were just talking about with the lengthy songs and everything. But yeah, I wrote this about staying in a relationship way too long. It's probably, going downhill, but you're like, but maybe, and maybe this, and keep trying everything. And so I wrote this one on the very first guitar that I ever bought. So again, I tell people that my guitar writes my songs for me, and usually the melody comes first. And so, on the chorus I say, me and my guitar are headed out of town. And so that's just a shout out to my red quilt top Alvarez that I still have. It's the first guitar I ever bought. So it's a little bit of a paying some respect to my guitar there that wrote most of the songs on the album, actually. So, but way too long. I've been in this relationship way too long, and I'm going to go write a song about it. So
I think this is a very common theme of many women that have been in and
For
out
sure.
of relationship, and you're representing them through this song. Let's listen to the next track off the record, Falling For You, Heather Rayleen. This is Way Too Long.
What was I thinking, letting you in? Should've known better, got my heart broken again. You say you wanna love me, you just don't know how. Keep begging me to stay, well it's too late now. 'Cause I'm done wishing that you would be mine, and you'll be the one missing me tonight. guitar, we're heading out of town. There's no use in crying over you now. I think we're gonna write a sad song about a girl who hung around way too long, way too long, way too long, way too long.
Heather Rayleen, Way Too Long, off the latest album, Falling For You. Heather, you've got a live recording coming up over at Michael McCullough's Lucky Run Studios. It'll be recorded by the time this airs. You will be completing, and then it will be available to the public in the near future. Tell us a little bit about what you've got scheduled out there.
Yeah, so it's a live in-studio performance, and I've actually never done anything like that before. I'm pretty excited. We'll actually have people there able to view it. And so, yeah, it'll be out and available really soon after this airs. So I'm looking forward to that.
And you'll be working with Michael. He's a great
I
engineer.
will be, yep.
And that was a prize. That was a prize she won
That
from
was,
the
yes.
Songfest. So
Yes.
we're really excited to have that.
That's
come
right.
A little
You
nervous, a little
donated
excited.
recording hours.
That's
Yes.
right. Absolutely. Lucky Run sure did. So thanks to them.
Yeah.
And upcoming shows after that.
Let's see, August 5th, I will be over at Memorial Trail Ice House, which is over in the Heights near downtown Houston. So that's a cute little place. I played there for the first time not too long ago. They got a nice little stage, and they have an actual sound guy there for me, which is, you don't always have that. So it's a cute little spot. And so that's like from 8 to 11 solo acoustic. So yeah, it's free. There's no cover. So come on out and see me.
Can't beat free, can you?
Yeah, exactly.
And in the Heights.
In the Heights, yeah.
Okay, if they want contact information where they can go to check your schedule, check any available albums that you have, not only currently, but in the future when the Lucky Run project is complete, where do they go?
Okay, so I have heatherrayleen.com is my website. And then Instagram is another really good place to catch me. I'm better about putting my stuff on Instagram quicker than the website. So that one is Heather Rayleen Band on Instagram. And of course, I'm on Facebook. You can follow Heather Rayleen Band on Facebook. You know, I'm on TikTok too, if we have any TikTok people. I'm silly on there, but I also sing on there too.
Very good, very good. Tracy.
Yes.
Contact information.
Absolutely. If you're an artist or a fan, find us at HoustonLive.tv. That's our website, HoustonLive.tv. And then Facebook is New Houston Live TV. Same on Instagram. And then we do have a TikTok channel out there. Look for Houston Live. It's brand new. So, yeah, find us on all the things.
Can they get on an email address list if you want to update them on
Absolutely.
next year's
Yeah,
Houston
sign up.
Live competitions?
Oh, I hope they will. Yeah, HoustonLive.tv. You'll see the sign up there. You can also send us an email at info@HoustonLive.tv. Let us know. We do bookings around town to support venues and artists. We do a lot of things throughout the year.
Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us on Songwriter Studio. Thank you, Gracie, if you're listening. Appreciate your input from the city of Houston. Please stick around. Up next, we've got Irish Airs, followed by the Bluegrass Depot. We're going to close the show out with Limbo. This has got a really great guitar intro progression. It's just wonderful. If you're just tuning in to Songwriter Studio, thank you so much. If you missed us, go to kpft.org. We have a podcast there and an archive for 2 weeks, or go to YouTube, Songwriter Studio. Thank Lloyd Daniel so much for setting that up week after week and taking care of all the business here. I'm Tom Tranchilla saying goodbye, and this is Limbo off of Falling For You. Thank you, Heather Rayleen.
Thank you.
I don't want you back, but sometimes it hurts so bad. Maybe I said goodbye, but I'm the one left here to cry. Believed your lies and alibis, you had me stuck, paralyzed. Still feel your fingers in my hair, in my hair. I should let you go, but I don't care, I don't care. So leave me here in this limbo. 'Cause you, baby, you were my favorite drug. So addicted to you, and I thought it was love. So helpless here in this limbo. 'Cause you, baby, you could turn a diamond to dust. 'Cause your charm is so sweet, but your love was chipped up. You are what my mama warned me about.